I need you to know something. You already are. You already are. You already are. So if you're one of those people that don't have time or want to tell yourself you don't have time to watch the full video and really grasp what I'm going to give you right now, um, that's it. That's the message. You already are. All right. For the rest of y'all that have time to invest in self, let's get to it. All right. Because I'm talking to you. You know, I got my notes, right? So you're a graphic designer. You're a writer. You make arts and crafts, right? You do the little jewelry, the pottery, the paintings. You sell them at the local market or online. You're the photographer, okay? You're the baker, the cake lady, right? You make cookies. You're the ones we see on YouTube and Facebook putting the Hennessy bottle upside down in a cake and doing a little icing on it, and then bam, right? People calling you up, okay? You the digital marketer. You the ones that when we post something, like the artist post a song, you the ones in the comments talking about, hey, I saw your YouTube, even though you ain't look at the YouTube. 87% of you ain't look at the YouTube. You go, I saw your YouTube. You have little friends, little views. Pay me $10, I'll get you 20 million views, right? You the digital marketer, right? Or you like, give me 20,000 and we gonna, you know what I'm saying? It's always a spectrum, right? So you the digital marketing. You do video production, you do editing, right? You do interior design, right? You stage homes for realtors. You into music production. You make custom clothes. You're a fashion designer. You make content, whatever it is. You on YouTube, you do podcasts, you're a blogger. You do consulting work with no certification. I mean, I'm a fan of that because you got experience. You got observations and experience that you can share. Who gives a fuck if you got a cosign on a piece of paper? That's the problem. Society wants you to have a cosign for everything before they, right? So, in other words, you're a creator of some sort. You are a producer. Okay? Now here's the thing. I want you to know, because what we do, no matter what craft you're in, right? Is your craft means a lot to you, right? That's why you're doing it. It either means a lot to you itself. It means a lot to you what you're creating to give to others because you want them to have that, or maybe some combination of both, where you're trying to change the world and be a Marvel superhero like me, right? Because the world don't know what they don't know, right? And that's okay. Whatever it is for you, there's a reason that you do it, and it's very close to your heart. And then what do? You go out and you share it with the world, and the world give you feedback. And the first thing the ignorance of the world is going to do is try to tell you that something's wrong with what you're doing, right? I want you to know they don't know. They don't know you. They don't know what you're doing. They don't know why you're doing it. They don't know that they don't know a lot of shit. And what I'm telling you this for is because I talked to, over the years, over the decades, many people who are doing many things and are always so conscientious about what someone else thinks. And I'm going to tell you right now today why that is the worst thing you could do for whatever your creative situation is. Like I said, I don't care if you're a baker, a home stager, a music producer, a writer. I don't care. The worst thing you could do is to listen to someone's feedback. Here's the key about you. Learn to not take the feedback as a representation of you or your work. Learn to see the feedback as a presentation of that audience member, character, qualities, projection issues. See, you get it. We, if not careful, can get lost in emotion, feeling like they're talking about us. They're talking about what we made, right? In reality, they're talking about themselves. And our job is to learn from that. Learn, is that person someone that we wish to even build with long term in the future? Do we want 10 million of them, right? Or are we looking for this audience over here in a niche, and we understand that why they're saying that because we incorporated that as to be irrelevant in what we're doing because we're really focused on this over here, right? So when you look at it, here's what I'm getting at. The people don't realize they don't know. Like, you make music. They don't know that it takes the average person 8 listens. They haven't done the research. They don't know the science. It takes people 8 listens to hear a song. They have to hear it 8 times before they can give a true assessment. And this is case of, it's true. It proved to yourself if you look back in time, or even today. But it's easier back in time because things used to come on the radio. That was the only source. So you put it on the radio. It comes on, new song comes on the radio. You're in the car traveling with your compadre. You may have heard the song before. This is the first time, or one of the first times they did. They go, "Oh, I don't like that song." You maybe have a conversation about it. Maybe you don't. Right? I can't stand that song. It sucks. It's this, it's that. 2 weeks later, you ride in, whatever, you in a location, that same song comes on. That same person now goes, "Oh, this is my jam." They sing it along with the lyrics. You go, "Hey, wait a minute. 2 weeks ago, you said you ain't like that shit." "Oh, that was then. That was before." What they're saying is that was before I had a chance to know if I liked it or not. So if you're a music person and you got your song on the internet, somebody listens to 18 seconds of it. Somebody listens to it all one time and try to tell you something about it. Here is the magic that you need to know. If you're a baker, right? And I mean, granted, there can be some catastrophes in the kitchen. But you know what? You know what your mom used to say? Your grandma used to say? "You better shut the fuck up and eat that shit. Somebody gonna eat that shit or else you're gonna go hungry," right? So here's the thing. If they knew what they don't know, then they would change what they're talking to you about. But these people out there, if you're doing a website for someone and they got $150 budget and they want you to make them a $20,000 website, but what they're gonna do is they're gonna talk about your work afterwards or the experience. And they're not going to share the fact that they were trying to get $20,000 product out of you when they only was giving you $150. See, they don't share that part. They just go, "Oh man, I wanted this, and they couldn't do that, and then right, and I wouldn't use them." No, you wouldn't use them. You wouldn't use anybody with a $150 budget to try and get a $20,000 production. And if they give you a $20,000 production for a $150 budget, well, right? So here's the thing. You're talking to people, the same people who go out and buy the newest phone because it's the latest smartphone, gaming console, video game gadget, and it's amazing. This is the greatest thing ever. And then a year later, they have all these complaints about it as to why they need to get a new one. These are going to be the same people that go and get a new job and pretend to themselves that the new job is so amazing. But then when they get more familiar with the company, the culture of the company, the workload, the management is racist, whatever it is, they find all these dislikes all of a sudden, right? These are the same people that'll move to a new place for the adventure and then complain about the cultural differences, which is the adventure. These are going to be the people who think starting a business is not stressful, long hours, and there's financial certainty, right? You're talking to people who buy a car today. It's the greatest thing in the world until they get the maintenance costs and the depreciation and the issues of the vehicle's reliability. Like, I remember I got the Mercedes, the last Mercedes, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be my travel. I'm going to be able to go distance. It's built to go distance. Come to find out, the fucking paint's peeling off. Mercedes got a lawsuit out there on them on these years because the paint clear coat's falling off the car. They don't make many red cars. Every time I get a red car in my life, it's always a problem. I think I'm done with red cars. Then there's an issue to build, repair bills, $12,000. You gotta decide, do you want that car or not? Is it still the greatest car in the world? It probably is, but you pull up places, people are like, oh, is that your car? That's a great car. Oh my God, that's amazing. Like, it's a fucking Mercedes E350 coupe. Like, I'm trying to get to the Murciélagos. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's on my mind. I'm grateful for what I have. I like to go fast, I like to race, but when you're around the wrong people, they put the wrong energy on you, right? So these are gonna be the same people who don't know that going into it. Like, oh, I'm gonna get this car today, I may not like it next year, right? Pets. These are the same people that got pets, and then they get the pet, and then like, fuck, I gotta feed the dog, I gotta take the dog out, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, right? These are the same people who get married. Like, this is what you gotta think about it for a moment. I know it sounds simple, but this is the part that we don't think about as a creative minds. If you're not careful, you're going to let the people who don't even know who they are themselves tell you who and what you're supposed to be, right? These are going to be the same people who get married, celebrate it with enthusiasm, spend 10 years salary on a ring and a wedding, and then discover that they have challenges like communication, or find out that they're not even compatible, or their life goals are different after the fact. But they got something to tell you about what you're doing and what you're making and what's wrong with it and why they don't like it today, right? Like, that couldn't be different once they get more experience with it, because everything I presented to you so far shows that they said, oh, this is great, and then they found out it wasn't later. So what we know about a two-way street is it's always two ways. So if you could think something is great now and find out it's not later on for you, then you could think something is not great now and find out later on that it is for you. See, that's where people fail, right? Home ownership. They go and get this bank product and they get a death pledge, and they go, oh, I'm better than you because I have a commitment for the rest of my life. That means I just gotta like do 30 years of fucking slavery to try and say I don't own nothing ever, because once you think you pay it off, you still didn't pay it. You know the whole story, right? So those people, these are the same people you're talking to. The ones that get a new hobby, right? And they're excited, and then they realize the investment and the time, resources, capital that it takes to sustain that hobby. And then they question do they enjoy it anymore or not? These are the ones that want to start a family with you just to put you on child support. Like, these are the people you're talking to in some cases. Like, they didn't, the sleepless nights, the financial demands, they didn't care about all that when they were fucking your brains out, right? Traveling until all the unexpected shit happens with travel. The college graduates or the attempted college graduates that now have tuition costs high, education costs, academic pressures, and then they go out there to find out that you don't get a job from college. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to know that despite what the fuck they saying, you already are whatever it is they may be trying to tell you that you're not. Okay? When it's not for the masses, see, here's the other thing. The issue is they don't like you. They don't like you, or they don't like that it's you doing it. Because when it's somebody that they like doing it, all the stuff they complaining about that you're doing, it flips. They give you the same thing they're talking and saying something's wrong about. They go and say, "Oh, this is amazing that so and so did it like this," and you're sitting there like, "That's the way I did mine," and you said it was fucked up. Oh, we'll give it an elaborate name when we talk about they do it. We'll say it's encrusted Parmesan cheese, right? But they was telling you your shit was burnt, right? You see what I'm saying? That's what they don't know this about themselves. So I recommend that if you're gonna start anything, business, especially in creativeness, you gotta understand human psychology, else you're gonna destroy yourself. Unless you're just one of the people, and I'm not knocking them if this is what you do, because maybe you're focused more on money than just, building a profit, building revenue, than doing something you actually create yourself and develop and refine and manufacture. And I'm not, again, this is not to knock those people, but if you got a little template, you just repeating what's already been done before and putting your brand name on it, like a taco shell, and there's nothing different about your taco shell, but you're making paper so you feel good because you're safe, because you're not doing nothing different, then that's cool. But if you're creating something new, if you're creating software, if you're creating new learning courses, if you're creating anything from scratch and developing it new, it would be good to study human psychology to some degree, because if not, the humans will destroy you, right? And keep in mind, when they find out they can't destroy you mentally, they'll get to the people around you and destroy them mentally, so that that's where you get blackballed and cancel culture and Kanye West and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you have the budget to sustain that period of time, then it's great. Like Kanye, you go from a billionaire to 400 million. All right, damn, sucks, but still 400 million in the bank. You know what I mean? Like, you're not doing bad. You can still do what you want to do and make moves, right? The issue is when cutting and cutting edge and coming out with something new, right? The problem is you doing that tells everybody else that the person that said you had to do it their way is wrong. And if they're trying to be the cookie master industry guru, then they can't have you make cookies your way. So that's when the little dumb shit comes in. Like, that's why they blackball you. That's why they want to bankrupt you. That's why they gang stalk you and all that stuff, because they're trying to suppress the fact that you are genuine. And it's okay to be genuine. All right. But here's what happens when you maintain your genuineness and you get to the point where instead of the hate, you find the people. See, it's not that people can't have their opinion. It's that you need to understand the dynamics of, okay, that represents this type of mindset. Is this the type of mindset I want to be customers or affiliated with my brand? Right? If not, don't worry about, study from the feedback, because maybe you put something in there to detour them, and maybe that's what they're complaining about. Well, I didn't like it because of this. You know what? It's working. It's working. I'll put that in there just to keep people like you or that mentality separated. It's working. Or maybe, it's another thing you can learn from it. But look for the feedback to tell you about them and not about yourselves, because when they flip over to say, oh, you know what? I like this. Then they give it names like, oh, it's a luxury brand, right? It's a luxury brand. Because you don't have to be a mass seller. You don't have to be a mass seller. Like Tic Tacs. I don't know how much a Tic Tac costs. I can't remember last time I had a Tic Tac. You get how many in a pack of Tic Tacs? I don't know. You know what I mean? Somebody should do a TikTok about that. But you get so many in a pack of Tic Tic Tacs. How much does it cost to make a Tic Tac? They have to sell 1 billion trillion of them to meet their profit margins. They need 1 trillion customers, right? So they got to do it that way. Now, you don't have to do it that way, because when you become a luxury brand, what do? It's like high-end fashion or jewelry companies, right? You get a small exclusive customer base with higher profit margins. Maybe your business is going to be a B2B biz company, right? Because you could try to sell your cookies in the neighborhood, right? Or you could go straight to catering. You might find out that nobody likes your shit. Nobody likes your cakes with Hennessy in them. And then you found this one person, and that one person just happened to be the vice president at some mid-sized local company, and they do events for their staff every quarter. And instead of you trying to sell the cake for $40 that everybody's complaining about, they want to give you $90 per cake, and they need 200 of them every quarter. Because now you're associated with a different mindset of people. Pharmaceutical companies. How many customers do they actually have? I mean, what you got? You got healthcare, you got hospital, right? Aerospace and defense contractors. I know I'm giving a crazy $1 trillion industry, but what I'm saying to you is aerospace and defense contractors, how many customers they got? But they make trillions off of them, right? Exclusive club memberships, high-end restaurants is the same way. The Michelin star restaurant, everybody can't afford to go there, first of all. So you got a small base of clientele that appreciate the exclusivity, right? So they are willing to pay a premium for it. And then sometimes some of us get up in there and be like, damn, I don't even know why this steak was, like how many times you see the post about the Salt Bay dude or something. They talking about the steak or, whatever steak company or whatever this company or Godiva Chocolate, whatever it is. And they're like, damn, I don't know why this steak is $700. It was this, it was that, it was blind, right? Part of it's the atmosphere, the ambiance, the exclusiveness. Okay. They call it, when you go to Burlington Coat Factory, it's racks on racks on racks. Unless you're in the big and tall like me, then you only got 2 racks. Right? But you go to a place that only got a couple racks, that's what they call it, the boutique. All right. So some of us, I want you to know that you're not creating mass market shit because you're not in tune with the masses. All right. You're boutique. All right. But what I need you to know, as I stated in the beginning, if you've taken the time, here's the key. I mean, we're not going to just pretend, right? But if you've taken the time to do the research, to study the science, to test your own product out, to know why you chose vanilla instead of baking soda, right? Then can't nobody tell you why you should do something different. The key is, if you've done the science and research to know, can't nobody tell you. But take the time to learn about them from the feedback they give. Keep record of it. Make a Excel spreadsheet if you want to. Look at your data. I enjoy people feedback. Even what somebody else would say, oh, that was terrible. They said, tell me why. Oh, it sounded like okay, what were you listening to it on? Oh, these old headphones. And okay. I was listening to it from the speaker on my 5-year-old phone. Oh, okay. right? Someone tastes your cake after they just, I don't know, was drinking lemonade. I like to drink straight lemon juice, like the what you put in tea and stuff, like, or squeeze. You know, I like to drink straight lemon juice. That's pretty much what I'm on right now: lemon juice and water. That's so. If I drink lemon juice and then eat your cake, a conscious person is gonna know, hey, that's going to affect the flavor. I might not be getting the real deal, but the ignorant person is gonna go run out and say, no, I didn't like that. Right? It was bad. They don't know why it was bad. It could have been user error, right? Just like when they listen to your songs the first time, they can't tell you if they like it or not because they don't know if they like it or not yet themselves, but they think they do because they don't know what they don't know. All right. So think about that. All you creatives out there, take the equation. You know, I'm equation, not variables. I know I've been going for a minute. This is on YNet7. This is on Pasha Pyro on YouTube. This is on both the Facebook pages at the same time right now. If you're rocking with me, rock with me on the Facebook page. That's where everything like kind of drops right away. And then like Twitter and LinkedIn and all that stuff, they get stuff like that I see fit. You know what I mean? Because again, their audience is the different type of audience. So you just gotta look at who you are. I dump it all the same. I don't change it except for Twitter where you gotta chop it down because it don't fit. But other than that, be you, be genuine. If you want to know the details, check out the YNet7 channel to see what the true difference is between the word everybody use, authentic, and what genuine really is. Because I guarantee you want to be genuine, but being authentic is what's fucking you up in life, all right? Or trying to be authentic is what's fucking you up. And if you're not being fucked up, it's because you're really genuine. And then you need to be able to explain that to your community and future generations so that we can embrace genuine in the future going forward as a community, right? All right, Pasha Pyro, thank you for tuning. Enjoy.